All right, good morning, everybody. It is 6:50.
Too tired. Way too tired.
I'll tell you what. Let me tell you about Fonzie. He's 24. He claims to have been a bodybuilder before he started this in California. This kid complains and complains some more. And all he talks about is how hard this is. He's not wrong. It's not hard.
This is nothing like going to the gym for 3 hours.
But
Nothing.
he told, well, Kate and I kept saying, look, we're almost 40. You're 24. We don't want to hear all this whining. If we could have done this at 24, we'd have no issues. He said Georgia humbled him because he started out and he thought, well, I go to the gym 3 hours a day. Walking through the woods will be nothing. He said even in Georgia, he was humbled and realized this is way harder than going to the gym. Anyway, back to the hike. So today it's 6:50 a.m. We're walking. Had a nice stealth spot. It was quiet. I slept really good. Fonzie must have slept really good because he said when he woke up, hey, did that loud crew pass us after dark? He said he was asleep within 5 minutes of laying down. If they passed us, they weren't loud because neither one of us knew it. So today I was looking at some comments last night on Gut Hook about some different things, and I'm a little more optimistic about today and a little more optimistic about the situation at the Birches and in Baxter State Park. So I think there's a little better chance that we can summit on September 13th. Because as of right now, we haven't had cell service since yesterday afternoon, but the last couple days it's been showing rain on the 14th. We don't want to summit in the rain. So if we can summit on September 13th, that would be ideal, I think, until the forecast changes. So today we have like a down and flat for a bit. We have a gradual 8-mile climb. I think it's only 1,000 foot of gain over 8 miles. Maybe it's more than that. Maybe it's 1,600 feet. Because I think I was thinking that it was only 200 feet per mile or something. Anyway, it's a long gradual climb. Then we got 4 peaks to go over. But I think they're supposed to be substantially easier than the peaks yesterday, according to Quadzilla's comments. And he's a calendar year Triple Crowner. Well, he's attempting a calendar year this year. And the dude's a beast, so I'm sure he'll make it. He's already done 2 of the trails and on the CDT. Yeah, that's about it for now. We're hoping to get 20 today, but we'll see. We'll just have to see if we do better than yesterday. All right, let's get to hiking and quit the jabbering, and I'll see you in a bit. All right, so here's our first forward of the day. There's already some people camped over there. Ugh, they're so loud. All right, we just did that river crossing. It was just ankle deep. It was very, very easy and mild. We talked to some other hikers for probably longer than we should have. And this is the trail now. We are thinking we're going to get this kind of trail for the next 6 or 7 miles that we can just stroll and like enjoy life. It's like mostly flat through some pines. And we've got some kind of like natural pine preserve coming up. It's supposed to be like the only place like it in the Northeast or maybe anywhere. It was preserved like eons ago by the British. They needed to grow trees big enough for the masts of ships, is what I read. So we should be seeing that shortly. We've been walking along this beautiful river, these falls. There's like layers upon layers. This is the biggest one. All right, I've not been doing much recording today. We've been hiking for almost 5 hours. The first 7 miles were nice. And I mentioned earlier this big growth of old pines that I was looking forward to. That never happened. We went through the area that's labeled as that, but the forest looked no different than all the other forests. So It was a nice walk though, nonetheless. So now we're on a stretch of 4 peaks in a row. We've done the first 2. We're headed down from the second one. So according to the elevation profile, the third is the easiest of the 3, and it's called Hay Mountain, which it could be the rockiest and the hardest, who knows. And then after Hay Mountain, the last one is Lil'Chap Mountain. When we get up on top of Lil'Chap, we're going to take our long break of the day. There's supposed to be cell service up there. We need to work out a couple things with Shaw's, who's doing our food drop. We had it scheduled for 2:30 tomorrow afternoon, but you know, it's hard to know 60 miles out exactly what time you're going to be somewhere. So we're going to probably be there much earlier in the day. So we got to let her know and see. I think the first time they meet anybody's 11 a.m. So I think what we'll end up doing is probably just being there by 11 and waiting on them and getting our food as soon as they show up to give it to us, and then pushing on from there. The other thing, we stopped for water before we started these climbs, and there were 6 through hikers around that area that I'd never even seen before. So we've caught up to some, and there's another group of 4 girls. I think that group will probably stay with us because they camped about 2 miles ahead of us last night because they've been night hiking the last 2 nights. And they said they were doing 21 today. So for us to get to where they're going to go, we have to do about 23. We may try to do that, but it doesn't really matter because we are going to end up like stopped and waiting for the food. So basically, we're going to have like a barrier to getting any further, any faster until after we get that food. But we want to be ahead of these bubbles of people or pockets of people. So our chances of getting a spot in the birches or the timing of everything in Baxter are better. So anyway, I'm ready to get up these next 2 mountains because I'm ready for a break. But I got 2 mountains to climb before I get that. So here we go. We're on top of Lil'Chap. We are finished climbing until Mount Katahdin. Holy manoli! There's supposed to be an unmarked blue blaze or side trail back here where there's a good view of Katahdin from the other side. I don't know that I want to see Katahdin yet. I'm not sure. I'm kind of torn here. I know I've been picturing it from the magical view from A-Ball Bridge, and I'm just not sure if I'm ready to see it or not, but I'm gonna go look anyway. I think I'm looking at her, but it's 70 miles away almost. You can tell it's the biggest mountain on the horizon, but it's just not all that majestic right now because it's kind of hazy that way, and you can see right there she is. But I'm gonna wait for the view from A-Ball Bridge to really get excited about seeing her, I think. But now I'm gonna go back over this other side by the trail. I'm gonna take my shoes off and take me a break. This is kind of crazy. It's pretty terrain, it's just different. So a little moss update while I'm showing you some terrain. So when I had service on top of Lil'Chap, I saw she posted on Facebook yesterday that she was done with the trail indefinitely. She said she came back, so she flew back from North Carolina. I don't even know what today is. Like today's Friday, I think. So whatever day she flew back, like Tuesday or Wednesday. And then she got on trail. She didn't go very far, a couple miles, and decided she wasn't having it. So she turned around, walked back, and got an airline ticket and flew back home last night. So I sent her a text, and she called me pretty much immediately, and she's like, yeah. So she was just not in the right headspace after taking care of the stuff at home, and she went to interview for a job and she didn't get it. And she just wasn't feeling it when she got back to the trail. So as soon as the airplane took off and she saw the mountains, she like knew that this would where the trail could end, or would end for her. So she told me she's gonna try to. She has one more thing to take care of back at home now that she's home again. But she's gonna try to come back next week again, and then resume her hike next week and finish. So I just talked to her on the phone, I don't know, 2 hours ago. And as of then, she plans to come back next week and get on trail and finish out her through hike. So that's the update on Moss. Let's see, what else? We thought that after we summited Whitecap and got to the bottom, it was supposed to be this nice, easy road walk. It's not. That doesn't start for like 7 miles from the top of there, so I don't know if we're gonna make the 23 today that we were hoping for, but we're pushing, we're trying, we're just gonna see what happens. So for now, we're just still walking, climbing. We do have one more small mountain, but it's only like 800 feet of elevation over a couple miles. So it's not really even a mountain, but we gotta do that one. And then after that, it's supposed to be smooth sailing. So we'll see where we get to tonight. So we're gonna try to camp somewhere near this pond. This isn't the 23 miles we were starting out for today. It's like 20 or 19.8. Man, I want to see a moose out here. All right, we're doing another closeout video from the tent. We hiked until, I don't know, I think 6:30 or so we stopped. We did 20.1 something, like 20.1. We're stealth camped by a spring, and it had good cold water. Clear water, too. Let's see. There was a beautiful pond. I just took some footage back there. I think that was only like 0.3 or 0.4 back. There just wasn't very good camp spots back there. Tomorrow's going to be hopefully a really good day. All the stories about when it gets really easy have kind of been a little not sure. But it looks like now we have one climb. We already did half of that last little climb this evening. So we have, I think, like just a 400-foot climb in the morning, which is nothing. And then we'll descend that. And then it's supposed to be like an 8 to 10 mile dirt road walk. We have 10 miles to go till we get to our food drop. And we're supposed to be there at like 11 a.m. So I guess I'm actually going to set an alarm. Because I usually just get up 5:30, 5:50, somewhere around there. And I've been, since it's been cooler, making coffee, being leisurely. Like today we started walking at 6:50. But we really need to walk probably by 6 tomorrow just to make sure we're at that food drop as early as by 11. Because we want to get that food. We want to get to the Antler campsite, just a couple miles past that, to have a lunch, maybe a longer lunch. It's supposed to be like the most beautiful campsite on trail. And then we're going to try to push another at least 10 after that. So we're trying to get at least 20 tomorrow. We need to look a little more and kind of plan our final approach to Baxter, and because it's different with the logistics of Baxter and all that. I just kind of looked at it quickly, and it's not going to matter. Even if we push 225s the next 2 days, we're still going to summit on the same day. So it doesn't seem that makes much sense. But Fonzie and I are going to talk about that here. My dinner's cooking. I'm having a chili mac with beef, which is the first time I've had this flavor of Mountain House. And when I poured the boiling water in there and stirred it up, man, it smelled good. So I think that's all for tonight. And I think this is the first day of this video. I'm kind of losing track. So come back tomorrow and let's go get this food drop, because I'm ready for some more food. All right, have a good night, everybody. All right, good morning, everybody. It's barely daylight. It's 5:53 a.m. and we are on the move. All right, now that it's a little more daylight, it's like 6:40 something. Sun is coming up over there. We just summited Little Boardman Mountain, which was the last climb. we're supposed to, I still don't believe this, but once we descend this, it's supposed to be just like a heavenly, flat, easy walk home. So today is September the 10th. Those of you that have been around for a while know that I started the approach trail on March the 10th. So today is my 6 months of living in the woods. So I've been kind of targeting here the last few days to summit on September 13th. We were kind of thinking the 14th, and then the weather was showing rain on the 14th. So Fonzie and I had a plan to summit on the 13th, and we're on track for that plan. Hold on, let me show you this. All these reds and greens. There's lots of patches of things starting to turn colors. We just had service on top of Little Boardman to check the weather, and now the last 2 days it's showing rain for Baxter State Park, where Katahdin is, on the 13th and 14th. There's no way we can make it there in time to summit on the 12th because it's just not possible. The 13th is showing 96% chance of rain and cloudy with a few showers. The 14th is showing a few showers, some clouds, some sunshine. With a little less percent chance of rain, but still it's pretty great as far as that goes. So I don't know what to do. Now the 15th is showing sunny and clear. However, where we're at now, we'd have to sit somewhere for a couple days. You can't get off trail at this point and maintain your long distance hiker status for Baxter State Park. Even if you leave and get right back on the trail, you lose your status. So then you can't stay at the birches. And that puts us in a whole nother category of we don't want to be. Now you don't lose, I mean, you'd still be a thru hiker. You just lose your status with the park. You have to hike through the 100-mile wilderness in there. So I don't think either of us want to sit in Baxter for 2 days, just like twiddling our thumbs, waiting for sunshine. So I don't know what the future holds. I want to summit on the 13th. I want to be home on the 14th. But I don't know. We'll figure it out and step off trail just for a second. Wow, Crawford Pond is big. Real big. Wow, this is a really big pond. I'm not sure what happened. Several weeks ago, maybe three weeks ago or 4, I quit carrying bug spray because we haven't needed it. And then last night, all of a sudden, there was a few mosquitoes. And this morning, I don't know what the deal is. We're just getting hammered. I keep smashing mosquitoes all over me. Fonzie said, yeah, we finally got a nice cruisy trail. So now they have to give us some other obstacle. But my goodness, neither of us have any bug spray, and the mosquitoes are thick. We got about 5 miles to go for our food drop. And if the trail stays like it is, we'll be there well before the food drop time. So we'll have a forced break for a little bit. And we'll get our food, and then there's no other timelines until we get to Katahdin and there's rain. All right, so we made it to where our food drop location is. It's a few minutes before 10 a.m. Our food drop's not here till 11 a.m. So we have a forced hour break. Kind of excited about that. There's a river over here too. I'm trying to soak my feet and stuff. So looking forward to this. Okay, did some trail laundry down the river. Washed my shirt out, rinsed my buff out real good. I slid a little bit on my butt and got the back of my shorts and underwear all wet, but they'll dry quick. Soaked my feet, washed my legs, washed my head. I feel like a new clean person. I'm gonna sit here in the sun on the edge of this bridge for a bit and dry out, and I'll show you the river and Fonzie sitting out in it. All right, done with the food drop break. And it was nice because we got there at 10. Luckily, the guy got there by 10:30 or so. And they do a Trail Magic beer. So I had a PBR, and I had thrown a bag of barbecue chips into my food drop so I could eat them then. And I also had an iced honey bun. So 10:30 this morning, after doing 10 miles already today, and taking that little river bath, I got a nice honey bun, got me a PBR, got some chips, and at 11:10, Fonzie and I started walking again. So there's a group of about 8 people. Well, there's like I don't know which ones are actually together, but there's about 8 other people that we've kind of been in a bubble with all through the 100-mile wilderness. And I think all but one are planning to summit the same day we are. So in order for this all to work out for us, well, to increase the chances of it working out, we want to get to Baxter before they do, because that's going to be a bunch of slots, because there's only 12 for the birches. So I think we're going to probably go further than them today. We're hoping. Our plan is, as long as this terrain stays nice and friendly, we're going to try to get about 25 in total for the day, which would be my longest day on trail this year, because I've done 2 24-point-somethings. I think the longest I've ever done was last year. I did a 27 in the Smokies. But 25 would be my longest for this hike so far. So I think we're going to do that today, maybe, if we both feel good enough later in the day to do it. So we're just cruising along today. It's kind of weird because everything on my mind is about the logistics of finishing and then what next. So it's just I don't know, it's just a different dynamic here at the end. I'm ready to be done, sad to be done, excited to be done. A little bit worried about transitioning back to like a normal life where I go to work every day, like inside. It's gonna be tough after walking. Sitting inside is gonna be tough after walking outside every day for all day for 6 months. But I'm sure it'll be fine. Money don't grow on trees, so I gotta get a job. All right, let's see. I guess that's about all the rambling I got for you for now. I'm gonna keep on walking, and if not before, then I'll show you around when we get stopped by the Antler campground. It just happened. I just saw a moose. It was only about 15 yards from the trail in some brush. A sucker was loud. It jumped up and crashed away. And I just like stopped and yelled, "Moose!" Oh, I still hear it. It's long gone, but it was a big moose. I mean, I think all moose are big, so I don't know how big it was. I didn't get a good enough look to see if it was a bull or a cow, but I saw a moose. My hike is complete. I saw a moose. Oh, since day one, I've been saying I wanted to see a moose. I didn't get a real good look at that one, so I still like to see another. But I saw a moose. All right, we stopped by the Antlers campsite to take a look around. I think we'll maybe take a quick break here. That's the big lake here, or pond as they call them. All right, we're gonna take a quick break and keep on scooting. We're back walking again. We took about, I don't know, at least 30-minute break at Antlers campsite by the water. So we had one break today, about an hour. One break, 30, 40 minutes. But I had some cell service there. I talked to my mom a little bit. I made a little bit of a reservation. I made my lodging reservation for my shuttle out of Baxter. after I summit, and then my lodging for that night. Got the details on the bus I'll need for the airport, and I don't have, that's not something you book, so everything's set. As long as everything goes well, we summit on the morning of the 13th. I just got to buy a plane ticket. I looked again. They've gone up a little bit, but they're the same price for tomorrow as they are 4 days and 6 days. So I don't think I'm gaining a lot. I may just wait another day or so just to make sure that, oh man, the bug just flew in my eye. A minute ago, Fonzie just said the funniest thing he's ever said. Fonzie's a vegan. So he's a weird one, you know, he's from California. A bug flew in his mouth and he was like coughing and spitting out and said, I think I'm not a vegan anymore. I said, Fonzie, it's the funniest thing you've ever said. Ugh. So anyway, we've got another like 11 miles to go or 10 miles to go or something. And it's about 2 o'clock, so we better get to going, huh? All right, so just in fairness, I needed to video this because it's usually me complaining about how horrible the trail's been. So today has been a lot of like this, just nice walking. Now this is probably the best we've seen, but there's been a lot of like patches of a little bit of rock here and there, roots here and there, like mud bogs here and there. But there have been a good bit of just nice trail to walk on. So it does exist in the 100-mile wilderness. I mean, that's pretty right there, isn't it? I spoke too soon. Now here we're back to nothing but roots, a water obstacle, rock hop obstacles, as far as we can see. Well, it is the Appalachian Trail. All right, this is one heavy-duty bridge. As we were walking over it, I said, I think this is overbuilt and under-engineered. Something like my Uncle Terry would build. I don't know, what do you think? I need an engineer to weigh in here. What do you think, Rob? Comment and tell me what you think. Oh, man. We've pretty much just been walking along rivers and lakes today. Ponds. I always forget, they're ponds in Maine. The mosquitoes have been pretty bad, but my gosh, it's been so pretty. For the most part, the terrain has been great. My feet are kind of hurting a little bit. My right forefoot, I had problems with last year after a long hike. Before I got insoles and shoes that worked better and all that. I'm having a little bit of that same issue. Just some numbness in my toes, but I've only got like 3 days left. 2 days, 3 days, whatever. So I'm gonna keep on pushing on. I can put some Voltaren gel on it at home and deal with it then. We're kind of just winding back and forth through woods and then into these like mud bogs, trying to skirt around them just along this river. So hopefully we can get to where we're headed tonight, but man, it's really tempting just to find a spot and forget about the weather coming and the stuff, the issues at Baxter or the like a logistical stuff. It's tempting just to find a spot and camp and take a little river shower, bath, and do a little swim and have an easy night, but I don't know. I still feel pretty good other than my feet. And it's mostly just my right foot, so Fonzie's complaining, but Fonzie's always complaining, so he says that he told me earlier he'd find something to complain about even after we're done hiking, so we're gonna keep pushing. Hoping we get there just before dark. Hoping we can get there, get a spot found and start setting up as it's getting dark. And that'd be a pretty good day because we've had a couple longer breaks and taken 4 sit down breaks, like 2 shorter ones, 2 longer ones. So if we can still get 25 in with that, that's pretty dang good. Oh my goodness, we're just walking along. All of a sudden I start screaming. It still feels like somebody putting a knife in my shoulder. And Fonzie's behind me like, what's wrong, what's wrong? I'm just like throwing my pack off, throwing my stuff, pulling my shirt off. And he's like, what is it? What is it? I'm like, I don't know. I look over and there's a hornet's nest, like 3 feet from the trail. It's like a foot long. Oh my gosh, and it hurts. He says there's no stinger in it, but my gosh. I was trying to run away holding poles and pack all in my hands, and I almost fell over a rock. Some of this stuff would be comical. We need like drone footage of this nonsense. It's like today the trail's been nicer and the mosquitoes have been horrible. And Fonzie's like, the trail found something new to throw at us. And now we got hornets. I got like murder hornets stinging my back. And I'm laughing, but it's throbbing right now. We still got 3 more miles to go. It's always something out here. All right, it's 5 minutes after 7. And it pretty much is dark in the woods by 7:15 or 7:20 most days. Here's the parking lot. I didn't realize we were that close. So we just got water out of this river, and we're headed right down here to the lake. And this is like a campground that people can drive to. So we're hoping to find a spot easily. It is a Saturday, so we're hoping there's not a whole lot of locals. But we've got water and we're ready to go. All right, check this out. Oh my goodness gracious, this will be the best picture I've taken the whole trip. We're here at the lake. Wow. Okay, I know you can't really see my face very well, but man, what a view. My phone died as I was trying to video some of these sunset and just how beautiful this is. So, oh well, I do have some pictures though. I'll put those in here. Today was a good day. We got 25, I think exactly, maybe just a shade over 25. And we needed to do that because it put us in good position to have some more options for summiting based on the weather coming up. So we'll know tomorrow afternoon what we're going to do for sure and when we're going to summit. But anyway, this is a wonderful camp spot right here next to this beautiful lake, and had a good day. We even had a couple long breaks today. Still got 25 miles in, so the terrain was nicer than it has been in a couple months. And we're hoping for that again tomorrow. And it's supposed to be that all the way into Baxter State Park. So I'm going to go ahead and say good night and finish getting everything set up in here and getting my dinner cooked. So have a good one. See y'all next time.